Hello and welcome to round 2 of season 6 of 2SRL F1 here at Bahrain. Quali is just about to start and already a couple of cars heading out on track. So, this should be an interesting race, and already perhaps seeing a little bit of strategy, some people on softs, some people on mediums. Shouldn't be too complicated strategy-wise. You'd expect most people to go for the one stop, arguably the faster, safer strategy for today. But difficult to do it from the softs to the hards. Hard to really stretch out the softs far enough. So, the mediums, strategy-wise, a bit more comfortable, but sacrificing the qualifying pace, obviously. Overtaking is very doable here, though. Ooh, and Tipsy has disconnected. Oh dear. Not very good. Let's see, is anyone about to start a lap? It's like Thimo's about to start a lap. So bring up the lap data and go on board for a lap. Hard on the brakes just before the 100 meter and going really wide. That's not what you want. Gathering it back up pretty well though, but that will have cost him a lot of time. I think Thimo has backed out of this one. Yeah. Nothing doing there, so we'll ride with effective. On the brakes at about 100 meters. Really tidy and neat. But not super quick in sector 1 there. Might just be getting a feeler for the lap. Missing that apex there. But still keeping it clean and tidy, just not very quick. Really difficult at turn 9 to avoid the front locking as you're braking and turning at the same time, and through the elevation change it's very hard to balance the car there. Not a lot of commitment, it must be said, from effective. Maybe just winding up to the pace as he goes. And Corsa setting in 1:29. Decent lap, and Clara immediately tops him by 2/10. Speedy with a 1:31, not a very quick lap. Let's see what tyres everyone is on. So Speedy setting the 1:31, but on the harder tyre, which is pretty quick for those tyres, must be said, and Terra with a 1:29.1. Jesse coming around to end the lap on the harder tyre. As Icewind sets a 1:28.9, very quick from Icewind there. And Jesse coming around to end the lap. DRS on, dash for the line, and a 1:31.2. Pretty decent lap on the harder tyre. Good job from Jesse there. And Thimo setting his first proper lap. Coming into the last sector now. Neat and tidy. A good sector time. Little twitch of oversteer, but nothing much. Gathering it up well. missing the apex, but you really don't want to touch that curb, so not too much of a penalty there. 131, just not the fastest lap on the mediums, unfortunately. Hopefully Thimo can find a bit more pace as the session progresses. But still not in a bad position so far. That's it, a number of people running the harder tyre. And Velmenica getting disqualified, oh dear. Not ideal. Jeremy coming up to end the lap. Looks like it could be a decent one, a 1:29.7. Reasonably quick, but on the softer tyre. And a big gap to the pole. About 8/10 or so. So perhaps a little bit of pace for Jeremy to finally get. Speedy on another lap. We'll see what he can do on this run. A ways off pole by the looks of it, but not really gunning for a pole on the harder tyre. Really trying to get the strategy options in his favour. Neat for the last corner, took a little bit of curb but not too bad. And he was pulled out of that one. Tipsy back in the session, and by the looks on a lap. We're right on board now. Braking at the 100 metre. Picks up the apex nicely. Clean, no drama. Good drive out. Difficult through this hill S. It's hard to take the curbs because the car really does not like to ride them. It'll spit you out if you get it wrong. A little bit of oversteer on the exit, but not too much. And tidy through turn 9, no lockup. Good drive out. Down the straight, and braking just before the black box on the right. Good drive out, no issues. See what the sector split is. Touching the curb a little bit, lifted out a bit there. It would have cost him some time, but could have been much worse. A curb tends to spell death if you touch it. So not ideal, but we'll see what the time is. Picking that apex absolutely perfectly. Very nice, but not fast. He's bailed out of that one. Danny gone up to 11th with a 1:30.8 on the hards. Not a bad lap. Very nicely done. On the lap right now. On the medium tyre. And doing a pretty good job. Nice through there. Little bit of oversteer, but nothing too much. And clean through there. Car looks a little bit unstable, but they're managing it well. Might benefit from a distant tow from the Alpha, running right out to the curb using all of the road. Two-tenths down at the minute, and Speedy going to get well out of the way. A little bit down time-wise from Clara, but still a decent lap on mediums. That said, no wonder, is the strategy going to get away from him being potentially slower on the mediums? And yeah, 3/10. So maybe going a bit too quick for his own good on the softs, but that said, the one stop can still work on the softs. Much trickier, granted, but still very much doable. And Terror going faster, 3/10 up, coming around to the end of the lap, late on the brakes, takes a little bit of curb, but keeps it tidy, running to the line now. And it's a 128.6, goes to pole and improves his lap by 5/10. We'll see, can anyone respond? Icewind on another lap, half a tenth down so far. Coming into turn 9, very neat and tidy, but misses the apex. Will that have cost him time? Maybe a tenth or two. Picking up his braking point just before the 50 marker, but missing the apex again. Maybe just overdriving a little bit. Yeah, losing another tenth. Very scrappy through there. That's a very difficult corner though. Braking and turning. The rear tends to really get away from you if you're not careful. Yeah. You know, he bottled that lap a little bit. Bailing into the pits. Let's see what Silver is doing. Looks like he's not getting the best out of it so far. 3 seconds on the split time. This is not a representative lap from Silver. Presumably making a mistake of some kind. Is there anyone on a lap? OceanChief in 9th currently, with a 30.4, so not too bad of a job from Chief. Finding a little bit more pace on this game, so good job from him. Keeps the car stable through there, but a little bit wide of the apex. Snags the brake a little bit, keeps it wide so we can get the nice line into the apex, but a bit squirrely on the exit. That will have cost him a lot of time. Picks up his braking well though, but just carries a bit too much speed into the corner, missing the apex and running a little wide. But still 2/10 up on his lap, so definitely room for improvement. Coming down to the last corner, lay down the brakes, picked up the apex very nicely, and now the drive to the line. And that's a 130.1, a very good lap from OceanChief there, all things considered. He's struggled with this game a little bit, but finding a bit more form. Let's see, can we pick up any more laps? Like Tipsy going for it on the mediums. Braking at the 100 meter. Nice quick downshifts. Picks up the apex nicely. Runs out wide to use all the track. Good speed. And up 2/10 on his lap. Not quite picking up his apexes perfectly there, but still carrying some speed. Overcooked it into turn 9 quite a lot. Now he's hit the barrier. Oh dear. Tipsy throwing that one away. Looking like he was set to improve, but it's not to be. See if there are any more laps. Car out on the lap right now. Better on the brakes this time than the last lap, picking up the apex very nicely using all of the road. And a good run. And up 4/10, that's a big chunk to gain. Could jump a number of positions if you can keep this together now. Lay on the brakes into the last corner. Good speed through it, but a little bit squirrely on the exit. And at 29.2, improves 4/10, in 5th at the minute. And it looks like Nick is on the lap now, so we'll ride on board with him. Going nice and wide on the entry. Make the corner as wide as possible. A little bit of a lockup, but still got to the apex, so that won't have cost him too much time, and a 4/10 improvement already. Nice through the S's. Locking up a little bit, Carl looks very unsettled through the hairpin there. That will have cost him a little bit. It picks up the apex very nicely in turn 9, and a good drive out. A little bit of traffic ahead, but hopefully won't cause too much disruption. Very tight line through there, but runs it a bit wide, carrying a little bit too much speed. Gathers it up nicely, and 5.5 tenths up. Very nice apex there, very well done, very clean. Now towards the end of the lap, the last corner. Good braking, making the circuit as wide as possible again, and a good drive out. And now at the dash of the line, how much will he improve by? That's a 9/10 improvement, up to 7th, a really good lap from Nick there. Definitely knows how to find pace on this game, it's speedy on a lap as well, on the soft, so we'd expect to see some improvement. Committed into turn 4. Nice apex speed and carrying that through to the exit, 2.5 tenths up. Using all the road in the S's. And a very nice bite on the turn in, into the hairpin, no hint of understeer at all whatsoever. Going a little deep into turn 9, but carrying the speed and a good exit, no issues. Down to turn 10. Making the circuit nice and wide, picks up the apex, running out to the outside curb. Will cost him a little bit of time, but carrying the speed nonetheless. And 8 tenths up already, this is really quick from Speedy now. Running a little wide on the curb. Let's see where he'll go from here. Nice run through the last corner. Not quite perfect, but good enough. And deciding not to complete it, opting to make the strategy call and start on the mediums. Silver looks like he might improve by a little bit. Where will this lap put him? Up to 2nd. Good job from Silver there. Not quite matching Terror, but enough to see him on the front row. Vance improving so far. Let's see what the split is coming here. 3.5 tenths up, a good improvement from Vance. Running a little wide of the apex though. Late on the brakes. Nice apex. Good speed out. And he's bailed out of that one, opting to start on the mediums. So it looks like a few drivers just testing the pace on the softs, not really wanting to start on them, just measuring themselves up and getting a feel for the tyre and the pace. And so Terror is on pole, Silver in 2nd, Icewind 3rd. Hurst faring better today than he did yesterday in SLR Tier 1. So perhaps a good result to come from him. And so your top 10 are Terror, Silver, Icewind, Hurst, Clara, with a decent lap there. Tipsy in 6th for McLaren, carrying the form from Australia through. Speedy in 7th, Keyboard Magnussen in 8th, Nick in 9th with an impressive lap on the mediums, and that Bant's struggling just a little bit down in 10th, but on the mediums, so a good strategy for him. Hugo's languishing a little bit down in 12th. Would have expected to see him a bit higher up, but he's on the mediums, so we'll have a good strategy. Expect to see him make his way through the field without too much hassle. Overtaking very possible in Bahrain with the amount of straights and high speed braking. Lots of opportunities to make passes happen. Getting ready for the formation lap to start. This is the final prep before the race, getting a feel for your car, warming up the tyres and making sure you're ready for the lights out. Of course, tyres a little easier to warm up on this game, so probably not so much of an issue to get them up to temperature for the start off the grid. But nonetheless, important to make sure the feeling from the tyres is good. So weaving around a little bit to kind of feel out the car and the tyres. Sarah just controlling the pace on the formation lap at the minute. Just working the car, getting everything up to working temperatures. Not worried about getting to the grid too quick. Just focusing on the task at hand. And he'll be hoping to break the DRS as quickly as possible, because Silva right behind, a very quick driver, dominating the last round in Australia to win by 18 seconds. And of course, breaking that DRS is going to be incredibly difficult with the amount of slipstream on this track. Very useful, although slipstream not terribly potent on this game, so we'll see how it works out. But DRS, on the other hand, is very much a force to be reckoned with on this game, so he'll want to make sure he bolts away as quickly as possible. And then equally, Silver will want to make sure he gets down the inside on the brakes into turn 1 to try and steal Terra's thunder. Forming up on the grid now. And the last car is coming into place. We'll be away shortly. Let's see, can we get a decent camera angle? Three lights, 4 lights, 5. And we're away for round 2 of SLR. Or sorry, 2SRL, I should say. SLR on yesterday, and Silver with a good start. Icewind round the outside and gets the move done. And Clara getting the better of Kirst as well. A few position changes and a Red Bull off in the background. Looks like Jeremy. Oh dear. Jeremy having a rough time. Struggled last race as well. So, not the start he would have wanted. Back on board in the front. That's an Alpha going for the move around Keyboard Magnussen. Ford holding him off, but Speedy with the inside line into turn 9. That'll be the move, but Magnussen holding on well. But he'll be vulnerable to Tipsy now. Very close in these opening laps. And Magnussen gathering it back up, not losing the place to Tipsy. potentially could have been quite vulnerable after that. But still not over yet. Jumping back to the front. Silver close on Icewind. It's very close with these top three. Clara a little bit further back at the minute. Silver really close to Icewind. Going for the inside. We'll look to get it done on the brakes. Icewind outbraking him. Good defense. Clara, meanwhile, capitalizing on the battling, closing in a couple of tenths. Still very close. And Silver gets the move done around the outside. Very good job from him. Nice move. Now we'll focus his sights on Terror. And Magnussen getting back past Speedy. So good job. A few moves down the field. Bants past Thimo as well. So a number of guys further back gaining positions. But overall, not too much drama. Hugo and Jeremy struggling, but besides that, not too much drama. Relatively clean. The top four very close at the minute. It's like the overlay is bugged for me, not giving me gaps for everyone. Silver tucked in behind Terror, not really close enough to make a move. Thimo and Bants going at it. But Bants fending off the position. Thimo not quite getting it done there. Still very close. Not going for the move, thinking better of it there. Jesse on the brakes. Trying to find a way around Danny, but nothing really doing there. Jeremy will look to get involved in this on the softer compound tire. Jesse running wide. Not ideal. And we have a pass for P2. And that's a car off in the background. That's Terror. Terror having a spin. Not ideal. So Silver inherits the lead of the race and Terror down to 12th. Not quite sure what happened there. Might have been a bit of contact. Spinning on the exit of turn 9. It doesn't look like any damage, so hopefully Terror can recover. But that's a huge dent into his race. And Silver already gapping Icewind by quite a bit, 1.5 seconds. Tipsy getting a 5-second penalty. It's cursed. Speedy getting past Clara. It's very tight here. Whole gaggle of cars. Yellow flags in sector 2. We'll have a look and see what that is. Effective having significant issues. And a move there from Speedy. Trying to get around Cursed, but Cursed has the inside line for turn 9. And Speedy getting the move done. It's really close in this mid-pack. Front 2 moving away a bit, but still very congested further back. And Clara with the move on Tipsy. Tipsy running wide, it loses a couple of positions. And Nick getting past as well. But fending off Thimo and down the inside of Nick. Ooh, bit of a slide there. Clara losing time to Bance in all the battling. 1.3 seconds back. Bance very close to Magnussen as Magnussen pits. Softs not really lasting him. Bance has moved up a fair bit. Started 12th, I believe. So making his way through the field, capitalizing on the misfortune of others. And a bit of a battle emerging between Jeremy and Danny. They've been very close. Jeremy on the outside line, but not getting anything done just there. Might try a dive into the hairpin, but not close enough. Danny doing a good job of defending so far. Jeremy falling off the back a little bit. And it looks like that's done and dusted for Danny. Things still very close for Clara at the minute. Thimo just a 10th or so behind. Still really bunched up field. So Slipstream and DRS keeping everyone in touch. So, a bit of a procession at the moment, as Silver pits and Clara gets that really wrong, nearly cutting off Slash. He goes for the pits, but Icewind taking over the lead of the race as Silver pits. So, strategy starting to manifest itself. And Terror having an absolute whale of a time, now down in last after all of that. Cycles a bit further forward with the pit stops coming into play. Icewind out in front. We want to see, can he stretch these softs just a little bit further to bring the strategy to him, give him the tyre advantage on the hards. Speedy getting sideways out of the exit there. Not really any battles at the moment, people settling down a little bit, but Kirsten Keyboard Magnussen very close. Running nose to tail. A good showing from these two so far. Doing a decent job. Running well up there, so a good day for the SP Score Sport Pace Racing Point F1 team, formerly Force India. That's a mouthful. Still running very close. It's going to be interesting to see when strategy plays out. Silver joined, so presumably having disconnected. And a change for position between the two Racing Point cars. Magnussen with the DRS, Kirst as the slipstream, still very close. Magnussen covering off the inside, so no change for position. Kirst will have the slipstream and the DRS coming down to turn 4. Will he make the move? He's looking for it. Further back, Clara and Terror. Nothing happening there. Nick very close to Bance. Very close indeed. So maybe looking to make a move on Bance. Very close. No opportunities as yet. Want to bide his time and wait to get the DRS onto the main straight and look to make a move down into turn 1. So content to follow Bance for now. Still very close. We'll focus on getting a good run here. It's right on board. A little bit of a gap, but it will start to close up quite a lot on the DRS. Does Bance defend it or no? He won't. And holding it on the brakes. And I'll have the inside for turn 2. You get the slingshot into turn 3. Good defending from Bance. Taking the preferred line. Sacrificing turn 1 to get the better exit. And it works a charm. Clara setting the fastest lap for 1:32.7. And Slash and Thimo running pretty close together. Slash having a decent race so far, making his way up the order. Important to mention, in the pit stops, Icewind has actually managed to jump Silver. So effectively Icewind in the net lead. But it's very close between those two. So we'll make sure to ride on board. It'll be interesting to see where Speedy comes out, going deeper on the strategy, of course. I'll have a look at the tires at the minute. So let's give or take about 20 seconds in the pits here. So very close between Speedy, Icewind and Silver, of course, but Speedy will have the tire advantage. And presumably Icewind and Silver going for the 2-stop on the mediums, so Speedy with a definite strategy advantage could make the 1-stop work. Bit of battling between Keyboard Magnussen and Clara. Nothing quite happening into turn 4. Clara with the grippier tyres will look to make a move on and get this done. Go for a lunge, just a little bit too far back. Magnussen under a lot of pressure, locking up just a little bit, but doing just enough for now. The overspeed was quite significant there, Clara nearly running into Keyboard Magnussen. And the DRS for Magnussen off course, just neutralizing the advantage a little bit as Clara has a peak down the inside, but Magnussen defending this beautifully so far. Of course, all the time this is playing into Terror's hands, allowing him to close up just a little bit. And in all of this, Kirst is just starting to gap them a little bit as Silver now sets the fastest lap of 1:32.0. That DRS train behind Kirst. The DRS for Magnussen just completely neutralizing any attempt by Clara. Clara runs a little wide on the brakes, loses time, and will be in the clutches of Terror potentially. But holding the position for now. And really close between Bance and Nick. Nick with the inside line, but Bance getting the momentum around the outside. A very close battle between these two. Bance holding it for now. But Nick is going to have the DRS on the start-finish straight into turn 1. So potentially another change of position coming very soon. And Velbenica retiring from the race. Not had a good time. It's both Bance and Nick pitting now, presumably to take the hards. Thimo going deep as Speedy's in the pits as well. So Thimo really looking to stretch out the mediums as far as he can. As is Slash and Danny. And Hugo doing a very good job on the hard tyres, keeping with the pace. Starting to get a little bit bunched up here now. And Slash has overtaken Thimo. So, very close between these two, getting the move done. And looking to try to gap Thimo and get the advantage once they get onto the hards. Probably gonna pit this lap, I would suspect. And further back, Silver with the tyre advantage, making the move, and it's very tasty here. Icewind dispatches Jesse as well. Good move from Icewind. And so looking like Silver is back in the net lead of the race. So things going according to plan for him in spite of some small issues. Can Thimo do anything about Slash with the DRS? Going to make some inroads. Is he going to go for the move? Not quite, just a little bit too far back, not having the confidence on the brakes to go for that inside. Hugo getting passed by Icewind now, with the notable disadvantage on the tyres now, as both Silver and Icewind pass him on old hards. But he'll not want to fight it too much. He's a long way to go on this stint yet, so he'll just need to run his own race. And Hugo actually having issues. Apparently down in the 17th now. The overlay is being buggy. GG F1 game. Slash and Thimo very close. Thimo with the inside line and the DRS gets the move done. Can Slash come back on him? Thimo covering it off. And Thimo taking back the lead of the race. Still a remarkably bunched up field, not really any significant gaps at the minute. And yellow flags. Not really seeing where that was. Things getting a little bit dicey between Speedy and Nick. Flying for the move. Nick getting past on the DRS and getting it done well before the braking zone. So good job from him. And Terror retiring from the session. Love to see what happened to him. And Terror having issues, that's really unfortunate. We'll go back to the lead. Slash and Thimo still up front. And it's a safety car. So, presumably, Terra's accident, the cause of that. Still not seeing where it happened though. We'll have to find out exactly what did occur. And characteristic of Terra to make mistakes, I'd suspect. Maybe having a little bit of contact. And Slash and Thimo finally pitting, as is Danny. And most of the field following in, a lot of the medium runners taking the opportunity to switch to hards and go to the end. So Bance and Speedy having pitted just before the safety car, really gaining from the Speedy in the net lead, and not really a discernible difference in the age of the tyres. Will definitely be able to make it to the end. So the safety car playing nicely to them. And Slash and Thimo as well, gaining massively from this safety car, effectively giving them the free stop, having gone the distance on the mediums. So the strategy has unfolded very nicely from them. And only 15 laps for those guys to do on the hard tyres with the safety car, so it's going to be a nice cruise to the finish. And potentially a podium, as OceanChief has also gained massively in this, running in third. So, strategy working out very nicely for him. And we'll see, can he hold on to that finish? He'll have to fight for it. And another thing to mention, Hugo having started on the hard tyres, or having pitted for the hard tyres I should say, after the incident on the first lap, on the mediums, he will be able to go the distance based on what Slash and Thimo managed. So on the softer tyre than everyone else around him, potentially could make some overtakes and fight his way forward. So it'll be interesting to watch his progress. Field starting to come together now under the safety car. So hopefully not too much longer behind the safety car. The field's starting to bunch up, so safety car should be in soon. So, not really much happening obviously with the safety car. It's Speedy with the lead of the race. Bance and OceanChief also having gained massively out of that safety car. Perfect timing for them. So in the lead, and the safety car is in this lap, so Speedy's going to back up the grid and just bide his time and wait for the perfect restart to get a nice jump on Bance and try and move away. And Magnussen having issues falling down the order, not sure what that's about, but we'll ride on board with Speedy for the restart. Perhaps just some bugging of the overlay there. Only a number of position changes, so I wouldn't trust that being safety car. Speedy with a good launch, getting a little bit of a gap to Bance and a significant gap to OceanChief. And Slash looking to make the move, but Chief with the line, and Thimo right in there with Slash. And a lot of action. Slash going down the inside of Thimo. Thimo trying to make it work around the outside. Thimo. Oh, and contact. Slashes around. And hard to really say what happened there. Obviously both drivers going for the position. It looked like Slash ran out a little bit to Thimo. Thimo did give him the room, so I think Slash just understeering into Thimo, getting tagged and getting spun around. Really unfortunate for Slash. The strategy had played perfectly to him, and it was looking like he was on for a decent finish, but it all going horribly wrong. Magnussen looking for the cheeky move on Hugo, who runs wide. Hugo trying to get it back. Showing Magnussen his nose, he's really eager to get this back. With the tire advantage, just doesn't want to hang around too long. He really wants to get up to that lead group. And Icewind and Thimo racing, and Thimo having to fend off from Icewind. Will have to fend off from Silver as well on the outside line. Very tight between these guys. And Chief still hanging on in P3, so doing good there. Clara make the move up the inside of Thimo. Not quite, but Silver will. And Thimo getting Silver back in turn 9, but still very close. Silver gets the drive out. Clara really wanting in on this action. Very close racing, and Clara getting the drive and will have the line. So Thimo getting outsmarted there. But coming back again. Really racy stuff from these guys at the minute. Thinking better of a move into the last corner. He will have DRS, possibly. No, not activated this lap. So we'll have to wait till next lap. But he will get the opportunity. And close racing with Danny and Kirst further back. And Jeremy in on the action as well. Kirst going for the move. Down the inside on the brakes. Looked like a little bit of wheel banging from them. Danny might just have the line here. Very close racing from these guys. Danny defending the position. Good driving from both of those guys. Icewind moving ever closer to OceanChief. So the podium looks under threat. Icewind, I think it's fair to say, is definitely the faster driver. So Chief will have a lot of pressure, and Icewind, if he picks up a good drive here, will look to get down the inside into turn 1. He'll have the DRS. So Chief, somewhat of a sitting duck. Opting not to defend the position. Icewind running really wide. So Chief hanging on. Very dicey in the background there. Silver gets Chief back, making the move into turn 4. So Chief no longer in the podium positions. But still, nonetheless, a very good race for him. still very close for the final points positions. A number of guys in this battle for 9th and 10th. Hugo, Tipsy and Nick all very close, and a stream of traffic behind them. Nick looking to make a move on Hugo. Down the inside on the brakes. Hugo will get the drive around the outside, but Nick holds it in the next corner and will get the move done. But Hugo's still very close, locking up and running wide again. Really struggling with that corner is Hugo. And now Danny getting past as well, and potentially cursed. And yes, he does. Getting tagged. And there's an incident there, and it looks like Hugo may well have damage now. Curse went a bit too deep on the brakes, tagged Danny, and slid, and Hugo, with nowhere to go, runs into him and loses his front left end plate. So it all going wrong for Hugo. Some unideal driving from Curse there. Really could have handled that a bit better, I think it's fair to say. And Icewind is finding himself in something of a Mercedes sandwich right now between OceanChief and Clara. We'll have the DRS on OceanChief now. We'll look to make the move. Chief defending. And holding it round the outside. Good job from Chief. Good driving. But Icewind holding it round the outside. And Clara looking to get the move on Chief as well. Not quite able to, runs a bit wide. And over time this is feeding into the hands of Keyboard Magnussen. As these guys battle, he gets ever closer. So Icewind will look to try and gap OceanChief now. Can Chief come back on him? He has the DRS. Going for the outside line as Icewind defends. Try and go around the outside, but not alongside enough to really make that work. I'll have to defend from Clara now. Clara on the inside on the brakes. Looks like the position is his. And Magnussen really gets a great drive out of turn 4 and gets the position on Chief. Absolutely mugging him there. Chief falling down the order. So the strategy worked wonders for him with the safety car, but not really having the pace to back it up. Flags in Sector 2, and Hugo having a hard time spinning there, and the tyres are cooked all together now. Yep. Couldn't really make the inroads he would have wanted on the medium tyres after the safety car. And then with that incident with Kirst, just putting the nail in the coffin. And it doesn't look like there's any route back to the points now at this stage, barring another safety car. So an unfortunate race for Hugo there. It's really not what he would have wanted. Bantz in third with a gap to Icewind, but Icewind looks to have a lot of pace right now. So Nick on Thimo. Getting the job done into turn 4 on the brakes. Still a very close battle for the last few points positions. Tipsy getting round Thimo there. It looked like Thimo ghosted. So not quite sure what happened there. But Tipsy getting the move on Thimo, who is now under attack from Danny. Still very close. Just really difficult to form the gap with the amount of DRS and slipstream on this track. Just not enough opportunity to really break the gap between drivers, so not much space forming in the field, so a lot of potential for battles yet. And Danny ever closer to Thimo. Thimo will have the DRS from Tipsy, so it will be difficult for Danny to make the move. Can Thimo pass Tipsy? Tipsy defends on the inside, Thimo on the brakes, around the outside. Will he have the momentum? Yes, he will. He gets the inside for turn 2 and a beautiful move there, but Tipsy coming back. This is really close racing. And now Danny potentially getting the move on both of them. But losing out on the brakes and getting very sideways there. Losing the place to Jeremy. Says thank you very much. Still very close with these guys, but gaps forming a little bit at the front. The Speedy, Silver and Bance really settling in. But still a few more laps to go, so nothing is a done deal yet. And Nick getting ever closer to OceanChief. One and a half seconds at the minute. We'll go back to this battle for the last few points positions, still very close. And Silver pumping in some fast times, wants to close the gap to Speedy, but not much change in that gap there. Danny going for the move on Jeremy, looking to retake that position and getting the move done. And what can he do about Thimo, who has a bad run through turns 1 and 2? But defending this position, Jeremy could go for the move but chooses not to. And he tried to make it work, but just couldn't quite. Thimo positioning his car well. Now Danny vulnerable to Jeremy. Fending it off. And Cursed really in the action there, right on Jeremy's gearbox. Can he make the move on the brakes, down the inside, and gets the move done? Very clean overtake from Curse there. Still Danny right on Thimo's gearbox. Try to get the move done this time around. He's been trying for a couple of laps without too much success. But Thimo too far behind Tipsy now, so he won't have the GRS, so more than likely a sitting duck. It's Danny really close, and now with the DRS we'll get the outside line, but it'll be passed before the braking zone, and that's the job done. Thimo might have the DRS into turn 4 though, as indeed he does, but not really close enough to make a move. And Nick gaining as always on OceanChief. Within half a second now. Can Chief hang on for these last few laps? The field still really bunched up, as you can see in that camera angle there. Nick not getting the move as yet, but still closing in. Look to most likely do it down into turn 1. We'll definitely have DRS, that's no issue there. No question of it, really close to Chief right now. First, getting himself another penalty. Not having a great race. It looked much more promising earlier on, but has really fallen by the wayside in the latter stages. And Nick pulls out of the slipstream and gets the slingshot and back in front into the braking zone, so Chief losing the position down to 8th. Still has a bit of a gap to Tipsy and Danny. So could still very well get his points. You know Chief does love his points, as Thimo under attack from Hurst. Hurst coming back a little bit since the contact with Hugo. Still hungry for points. It's going to be a little bit tricky from here. Danny with a bit of a gap. Hurst still very close behind, as there's a move for the podium from Icewind. But Bant's still very close at hand, looking to get the place back. He gets it done around the outside, but he's a little wide, but he will get the line into turn 2 and 3. So still getting the place back, and Jeremy has retired from the session. And it's all fallen apart for Jeremy by the looks, as Nick and Magnussen going at it. Magnussen gets the position. Hurst and Thimo swapping a lot. Very close between those two. Unfortunately, neither in a points position at the minute. So, fighting for pride at this stage more than anything. As Nick and Magnussen going at it again. Still very close between these two, both very talented drivers. Both a shout of decent points here. Magnussen will get the DRS coming on to the final lap. The penultimate lap, I should say. Still one more after this. But a bit of a gap to Nick, not really making much of a game there. And now Tipsy is right behind Chief. Two Irish boys fighting it out for the honour of the best Irishman. Currently Chief with the advantage. Tipsy, arguably the faster driver at the minute. Still holding on for now. It's very close. Tipsy will have the DRS coming onto the final lap. So still all to play for. And Silver has closed in on Speedy, but still 3.5 seconds, so it doesn't look like Speedy will be foiled. Tipsy gets the move done on Chief with the DRS. No answer from the Mercedes driver there. Rather more of a sitting duck. And it doesn't look like he'll come back into turn 4, a bit too much of a gap. So Chief down to 9th now, but a little bit of a gap to Danny, so it looks like it should finish that way. So Tipsy having closed in quite a bit on the keyboard Magnussen, so looks like Magnussen will be struggling with where he is on the keyboard, hence the name. So perhaps the tyre's starting to give up on him because he's really fallen back from Nick, who he's fighting with. So, not over yet. Tipsy is close. But if he wants to make the move, it'll need to be down into the final corner. And Speedy getting the win. Still not everything decided yet as Tipsy goes for the move. Magnussen defending and Tipsy round the outside. Very nice move there. No answer from Magnussen. And getting the 7th place. Chief hanging on to get his points. And it looks like that will be that. Thoroughly well-driven race from the Speedy there. Really benefiting from the safety car with the timing of the strategy. Good job from him. And overall, a decent race. Not too many incidents. Although Hugo and Curse tangling. And Hugo also tangled with Jeremy. And then Slash just getting it a little bit wrong with Thimo. Spinning out. Still unsure as to what happened to Terror. It's overall decent race. And thoroughly well driven from these boys. Speedy getting the win. Silver backing up that performance in Australia to get the 2nd position, and Icewind doing a great job to finish in P3. And so the final finishing order is Speedy with the win, as I said. Silver bringing it home in 2nd. Icewind finishing in 3rd. And that Bance moving well up the field to finish 4th. Clara in 5th. Nick 6th with decent race from him, moving up a few places. Tipsy in 7th. And a number of good drives throughout the field. An enjoyable race there. And we'll see if anyone wants to do an interview. So, OceanChief will be joining us for an interview in just a moment. Hello, Mr. OceanChief.
Hello. That was a sweaty one.
So,
That was a bit of a sweaty one, that one.
Yeah, an eventful race for yourself.
Yeah, I don't really know what else happened around me. I just was doing my own thing, but yeah, it was whenever the safety car came out, it was the whole time behind the safety car. I was like, should I pit? And then I went, yes, I'll pit, but which tire, soft or medium? And then I was like, I'm already on medium. And then I was like, why don't I just stay out? I've nothing to lose anyway. So I just stayed out.
Yeah.
And then I went straight into P3. And then I was just getting ready for the mob to arrive. As soon as the safety car was in, I knew that I would have my work cut out for me. So it was just damage limitation at that point. Everybody was on fresh mediums behind me. So I just tried to hold them off best I could. But yeah, whenever you see names like Icewind behind you, or who else was it, Nick O'Lace, I just know that they're going to catch me eventually, you know. So I just try to get my head down and do my own race and hopefully come out with some points.
Yeah, you still did a decent race though, I think it's fair to say. Obviously the safety car benefited you a lot, but you still held on pretty well. You're holding down that third position for a long time, so it could have been a much worse race for yourself.
Yeah, I had
so well done in that regard.
Thanks very much. I had a bit of an incident with Jesse. I'll have to apologise. I might get reported for that. It was just a bit of a mistake. I think I run him wide at the downhill hairpin. But apart from that, it was pretty clean race for me. Although I did see Stinger at the same hairpin, he just went straight across the apex and into the wall. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I'm just glad he didn't take me out.
Perhaps just Stinger being Stinger.
Yeah, I've a few run-ins with that guy, so
yeah. Not given the best account of himself so far. You didn't see what happened to Terror, did you?
No, I mean, what was it? I did drive past him at one point. I saw the yellow flag come out, and then I saw he retired, and then I saw his car pull off to the side, and then straight away the safety car came out. But no, I don't know what happened, but I think just reading the messages here coming up in Discord, I think he's had some kind of technical issue. And I think he's saying that he's actually screen freezes, and he's gonna leave. He's gonna leave his seat, I think.
Yeah, it was bizarre because he was leading and then he spun after turn 9, and I don't think it was contact because he had a bit of a gap, and Terra's not one of those guys who makes a catastrophic mistake like that, so presumably just technical issues.
Yeah, and it is frustrating. Hopefully he changes his mind, you know. I haven't had too many issues with this game myself, but I know the last game I had a lot of races ruined by screen freezes and stuttering and lag and things, so this game is much better, but obviously there's still some issues there.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot of people are having issues with performance and just general crashes, especially with the DirectX 12, so hopefully that'll get fixed.
Yeah, I've noticed at the start of online game... Sorry, that's my fan base going crazy.
Yep.
So I've noticed, like, at the starter races, there's a lot of lag issues. But apart from that, not really noticing too much. Maybe a few SPS issues as well, but much better than last year anyway. Sorry about this dog. My wife's just arrived back in the house.
No worries.
Yes.
I know the feeling.
So yeah, sweaty wrist for me, and I just made it no more. I was around at my parents getting dinner and fed and watered, and I got back at 7:05, and I was thinking the race probably begun already, but thankfully the lobby was still open, so I had no practice, just jumped in and hope for the best, really. I was going to go for a one stop anyway. And it ended up paying off there because it was on the right tire when the safety car went in, and they're pretty much a fresh set of hard tires. So
yeah, there was only a 3-lap difference.
Yeah.
So really nothing much to choose there, especially with the amount of laps he had left to go with the safety car. There wouldn't have been much of a tire advantage for anyone there. So
yeah,
worked out pretty much perfectly.
Yeah, and I think it was the right call, yeah, but I just wish I had a bit more pace so I could have held off those guys. But once they get in the DRS zone, it's game over, really, But I did have a good battle with Icewind. I mean, we're heading into turn 1. He pretty much had me, but he outbraked himself and went straight across, and I was able to take the position. But I mean, he's one of the fast guys, so he was pretty much back on my case within a few laps again.
Yeah, he's definitely enjoying this game anyway.
Yeah, he's one of the faster guys. I don't think he's really shown his true potential yet. I think he's going to be one of these ones that he just gets better as the season progresses. So that's bad news for me and everybody else.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I really think so. He's asked me for an interview, so we'll see if we can drag him in.
Okay.
Just message him now. Right, we're good to go, so I'll drag him in now.
Hey.
Hello, Mr. Icewind.
Hi.
How's it going?
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think I don't know about the first few laps. Like Terra was having a lot of screen freezes, and I was at least 1.5 car lengths behind him, but it still seemed to get hit by something. I don't know if it was me or something else, but I'm really sorry if that was. He seemed to have a lot of screen freezes though, so pretty much nothing I could have done there.
Yeah, I think it was purely just technical issues on his end. I don't think there's anything anyone could have done.
Yeah, I'm
just
kind of interested to see how it looks on the recording if you're gonna upload it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't catch the incident itself, but I saw a Williams pointed at 90 degrees on the track, so I went back and saw it was Terror, and he went from like first down to 12th.
Yeah, it was the like the downhill left-hander, pretty much. The I don't know if you call it hairpin or whatever, but they were fighting with Silver, and I was a little bit behind of them, and then he just it seemed like he registered a hit from something, but I don't know. He had a lot of screen freezes on the laps before that, though. Really unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely really unfortunate for him. But your race was eventful.
Oh yeah,
a pretty nice race.
Battle like a bunch of people. Chief himself, we had a pretty epic battle, I would say. I hope I didn't squeeze you there too much, but
No, it was all good. I was just saying about the turn 1 you had me. I think the first time you got past me, you just overshot turn 1, and I was like,
yeah,
jeez. But
yeah, I locked up really bad, and then I had to easen up onto the brakes and just went really wide.
Yeah, I kind of was like, happy days, that buys me some time, but you were pretty much on my case within about 2 laps.
Yeah, I guess there was somebody else involved in that squabble as well, so yeah. But yeah, good race. I think third is pretty much the best I could have done anyway, because Speedy and Silver were just that tiny bit quicker than me all the way.
Yeah, but that said, I think Silver might get slapped with having to turn off assists because of his pace, so might be able to battle with him a little bit more.
Maybe, but I do hope, and I think that he's not going to be that much slower with assist. It just takes maybe a little bit of practice, but yeah, I mean, even if I can do it, I think I'm a good example. So.
Yeah. I mean, Silver is still a very fast driver, but obviously it'll be harder for him with less assists. So
yeah, it's a
bit more fair.
How do you say it? Like a lot more unforgiving.
Yeah.
But yeah, really happy with third, especially because I couldn't really get the best out of myself yesterday in the SLR race. So this is sort of how did Daniel Ricciardo put it in Monaco a couple of years ago? Oh, what was it? Redemption, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, to be fair, none of us got the best out of ourselves in Bahrain, so
Yeah.
in SLR. So,
but anyway,
yeah, better day today.
Good race. I had a lot of battles with other people. I hope I didn't squeeze anyone. I always try to leave a car's length and car's width, and yeah, happy with this.
Yeah. Yep. Good race. And well done to both of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Raj. Cheers.
Yep, so I think we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks.
And
see you later.
Yeah, see you later. Alright. So, a very entertaining race there. And lots of action. Unfortunately, some issues for Terra, which is a real shame because he was in the lead and looked set to maybe take the victory. So, a real shame there, but good driving from the others nonetheless. So we'll leave it at that, and thanks for joining us. And be sure to tune in next week at 20 Central European Time on Sunday for round 3, and that'll be in China, so stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching. Bye.